Do you have a really big dream that seems impossible? Are you scared to go out and get your dream? I'm going to share with you how I created my dream. Welcome to another episode of 50 Shades of Shilamida with your hostess, Shilamida. I am super excited to be with you guys today, and I'm going to be sharing my story of how I became a best-selling author to this book journal, 31 Days of Gratitude, Create the Life You Desire. I'm also going to teach you how to use this and how to manifest. So today is a little storytelling. Last week, I shared with you guys my coaching story and going back all those years ago when I was a single mom living on food stamps and I started learning about manifesting, one of the things that I really wanted to be was an author. And I really wanted to be a motivational speaker. Those were the two things. It was like when I was in the worst place in my life, I found people like Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Doreen Virtue at the time, Gabby Bernstein. I started finding all these people and all these people that were changing my life. They were motivational speakers and they were authors. And so I wanted to do the same. That's how I wanted to give back to the world. I wanted to just share all the information and share from my stories and my experiences because people had always told me that I was a really good storyteller. And so when I hired my first coach, I learned how to become a published author without having to go through the whole traditional publishing route. Now, I was in the Hay House circuit for a while. I was really trying to become a published author, but the things that I was learning was so overwhelming that it just made more sense to be a self-published author, right? So when I decided to do the journal, I actually was writing a different book called The Magic of Gratitude. And I was going to release that book first. And truth be told, there was actually another book that was supposed to be written. It was called 30 Careers by 30 years old. I was going to write the story of how I had 30 careers by 30 years old because I started working my first job that I got paid. I was 9 years old. It was telemarketing. I was telemarketing at 9 years old. But I'll tell you guys that story at a different day. Why I decided to write the journal. When I first started learning about this thing called manifesting, the law of attraction, like attracts like, think it, feel it, and it's going to be yours, right? Like it sounds so easy. And when you're in the vibration, it actually is pretty easy, right? But in the beginning, it's not easy because we don't really understand how it works and we don't really get the energetics and we get caught up into our cycles and our stories and our traumas and our triggers. And we haven't worked through all of that yet, right? I mean, I've been in this spiritual learning game for a long time. I started this 20 years ago, and I would say my massive emotional intelligence leaps have been over the last 3 to 5 years. And so when I first started learning about manifesting, I was a single mom living on food stamps. Everything was need, not desire. It was hard for me to live in desire. And so the really important thing to understand about manifesting is manifesting comes from this knowing that it's yours, right? Like, of course, that's going to be me, right? Like, of course, I'm on that yacht right now. Of course, I had this magical date with my husband. It becomes like this feeling of knowing that it's yours. And that's really hard in the beginning, right? In the beginning, when I was on food stamps and I didn't have Ben Lover and, I didn't have a career, I had nothing. I had my son, had this other human being who is dependent on me. I had myself And I had this urge and this knowing and this yearning and this wanting that there was a better life for me than being on food stamps and hustling for money, and giving men, dirty men, massages in my living room at night when my son went to sleep. But those are the years that propelled me into who I am now. It was in the learning, in the hustling, in the struggling that I started to learn, but doesn't have to be so hard. So hopefully in my sharing this wisdom with you, it doesn't have to be so hard for you. But the reason why I turned this into a journal is because it was hard for me in the beginning. When I was told to be grateful, I didn't know what to be grateful for. I was so miserable in my life. I remember I had depression for I don't know how long, anxiety, like panic attacks, like, it was like doomsday. Everything was doomsday. I was like the victim in every single scenario. And so like life was so hard. It's actually so hard. If you're watching this and you can relate to like playing the victim, right? Like if this is like oh, I do that, or you're relating to this, like it doesn't have to be so hard. It's like when we play the victim, we're like actually acting, right? So when you're acting, that's kind of like working. So it's like, would you rather work to be happy, or would you rather work to be sad and miserable, right? Because either way, you're doing the work. It's like, which way do you want to go? Do you want people to feel sorry for you all the time? And do you want to just have like a mediocre life, or do you want to like be respected and be magnetic and be beautiful and, like have anything that you desire? And that's actually like the difference between the two, because you really can have, I mean, like if you look at my life, like for anybody that's new here today, welcome. If you're just finding me for the very first time and I'm telling you these stories and it's like, well, how do you know? Like you can't possibly know what it's like to not have your next meal, or not have money for your next meal, or not have money for rent, or you don't know what it's like to be a single mom. You don't know what it's like to lose somebody. You don't know what it's like to be cheated on. I know. I know. I sit here in front of you. I know. I know what it's like to age backwards. I know what it's like to heal my body from inside out. I know what it's like to lose 100 pounds. I know. I've lived through it all. I've lived through a lot. I lived through many, many things that the stories that I share with you, I share because we're alike. We're similar. We are. And if I bother you, it's because I'm activating something inside of you. You see something in me that's in you that you haven't healed yet, or you haven't worked on yet, right? And so when you do that, then you get like this glimmer and this hope of like happiness and love and gratitude and fun and excitement, right? It's like could spend our days inside of a hospital or doctor's offices or with shrinks, or, like complaining and being around miserable people, or we can spend our days going to the gym or yoga, or meeting a friend for coffee, or going to a networking meeting, or doing something positive and fun, and doing affirmations. And it's like it's the same kind of energy. Oh, but Shill, you don't understand what it's like to be sick. You don't understand what it's like to be in pain. I actually lived in chronic pain for 4 years. I have cut my body open more times than I would ever like to share. And I get it. I know. I used to be a pill popper. I used to do drugs. I used to be the night club kid, like I get it. I get all of it. But you have to make a choice. So I made a choice all those years. I think it was like 2009 that I made my first vision board. 2009, I made my first vision board. And on that vision board, I wrote that I was going to be an author and I was going to be a motivational speaker. And here we are. Bravo to me. That happened in 2007. I became a published author, a best-selling published author. And the cool thing is I didn't just write a book. I wrote an interactive book that is also a journal. And the reason why I did this is because I feel that every day, even now where I am in my journey, every day we need a reminder. We need a little positivity, a little blip. Let's see what I turn to. In every given moment, there is gratitude to be found. In the very worst moments is when it is important to find gratitude. Remember, it is a practice. It does not just come naturally, so don't get discouraged. Keep at it and you will see a change. Isn't that appropriate? So on that note, thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for downtime. Thank you for time to unwind. Thank you for rest. Thank you for healing. Thank you for knowledge. Thank you for learning. Thank you for listening. Thank you for messages. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for love. Thank you for guidance. Thank you for time. Thank you for healing. Thank you for everything. And thank you for watching. I hope that this gave you a little bit of motivation. If there's a dream that you're working on, write it down, make a vision board, grab a journal, start being grateful for it. There's room here every day to be grateful. On some days, there's actually sample affirmations. I am grateful for breath. I'm grateful for inhaling. I'm grateful for exhaling. I'm grateful for the human body. I'm grateful for my good health, right? It's like universal things to help you get into the vibration. Like in the beginning, I didn't even know like what to be grateful for, right? Like now, like there's nights where like I'll scan my whole body and I'm like grateful for my eyes and I'm grateful I can see until the day that I die. I'm grateful for my legs. I'm grateful that I can walk until the day that I die, right? I'm trying to be super intentional with the end of my life. Like, that just reminded me, a friend of mine from elementary school growing up just had like the most tragic death happen in the family. And I can't help but wonder, like, how does that happen? Why does that happen? Right. Like, I understand like a lot of it spiritually, but like, I am trying to be super intentional with the way that I leave this earth. Like, I don't want it to be traumatic. I don't want it to be, and I know some of it is out of my control. I feel like some of it we agreed to before we ever came here, but I'm going to do the best that I can since it's working for me. Trying to age backwards, I feel like if I'm grateful for my eyesight until the day that I die, that I'm going to be able to see clearly. So we're going to go with that thought. And what we focus on our attention to is what we create, right? So like, even when you have it all, even when all the things start to manifest for you, you're still going to find yourself in lack. You're still going to look for the evidence of lack, right? Like, understand, like, this is a lifelong commitment. I say that at 111. This is a journey. Like, it's always going to come up as long as we're alive. It just will happen in different ways, in different forms, and your emotional intelligence will grow along the way and you'll be able to create anything that you desire. You just have to believe. And if you're working on something specifically, then you have to work it into your daily manifestations. First, you're grateful for the things that you have. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for Wi-Fi. I'm grateful for electricity. And then you keep being grateful, adding in those things that you desire. I'm grateful for my private jet that flies me on vacation. I'm grateful I receive diamonds every month. I'm grateful, right? It's like, whatever it is, it could be so far-fetched, it could be whatever, but you're doing it in the same energy as the things that you already have. So the energy that's creating the things moving towards you doesn't know that it's not real or fake. It just knows the energy. So when you're being grateful for the things that you already have and you're adding in the things that you desire as though you already have them, that's when they become a thing. So I am grateful I am a published author. I am grateful I am a best-selling author. I am grateful that thousands of people buy and read my book. I am grateful that every time they read it, they go put a comment on Amazon. I am grateful that they share it with their friends. I am grateful that everybody that reads my book loves my book. I am grateful that people have massive amounts of growth. I am grateful for all of the emails, the DMs, the texts that I get for the things that get manifested from this book. I am grateful for all of you that watch. So if you just heard that, right? I am a published author now, but at some point when I wasn't, I said those same words. That's the energy that you need to grab onto. Whatever it is that you desire, take something that you already have that you're so grateful for, be grateful for it, and then input that other thing that you're wishing for, that you're wanting for, that you're desiring for. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that this was great. It felt magical to deliver that to you. I hope and pray that your life is magic too. And if it isn't, I hope that I give you hope and faith that you can change it for yourself, because you can. I believe that anything that I have done and have accomplished is possible for anybody walking this planet right now. You just have to believe, and you have to work towards it, and you have to know that it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. This is a 20-year journey for me, and so it takes time. It won't take 20 years for everything, but it'll take a little time. And if you're just patient, persistent, keep doing it, keep being grateful, keep watching the videos, keep showing up, go hire a mentor, go join a class, go do something that's going to propel you forward. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Oh, and if you're on social media, come visit me on Instagram at 50 Shades of Shilamida, on Facebook, Shilamida Friedman, on Pinterest at Shilamida, on podcast or YouTube at 50 Shades of Shilamida. And my website is www.shilamida.com. I love you. Bye.